building Nigeria's creative future. This is Copyright Connect, brought to you by the Nigerian Copyright Commission on Oxygen FM 96.9. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Ibadan, and welcome to another enlightening edition of Copyright Connect, your enlightenment weekly program on copyright, on creativity, innovation, brought to you by the Nigeria Copyright Commission, NCC, the federal government agency responsible for the administration and protection, also enforcement of copyright in Nigeria. My name is Tolu Adepoju, and it's always a pleasure to have you as my company, my dependable companion, always there to listen, always there to learn, always there to be informed, to be inspired, and to be ignited. Whether you're listening from your office, your business premises, your vehicles, your home, your school, here in Nigeria, or from anywhere in the world, through our digital platforms, that's Facebook, Oxygen 96.9 FM, Instagram, Oxygen 969 FM, TikTok, Oxygen 96.9 FM Ibadan, and on YouTube, Oxygen 96.9 FM Ibadan. Wherever you're listening from, we are delighted to have you with us. Thank you for making it a date with us and making us a part of your day. Thank you so much. If you're joining us for the first time, you're especially welcome. And if you've been following the program, thank you for staying with us as we continue to explore the fascinating world of copyright. Remember last week, we answered another important copyright question. What kinds of works are protected by copyright? We discovered that copyright protects much more than books and even far beyond music. Copyright also protects artistic works, audiovisual works, sound recordings, broadcast, photographs, computer programs, and many forms of original digital content. Can I take that again? If you're listening, please listen attentively. Copyright protects artistic works, audiovisual works, sound recordings, broadcast, photographs, computer programs, and many other forms of original digital content. You're an artist, copyright will protect you. Perhaps the biggest lesson from last week's program was this: copyright protects the expression of an original idea, not the idea itself. Today, we build on that knowledge by answering another question that often causes confusion. Who actually owns copyright? Is it always the person who created the work? Does the person who paid for it automatically becomes the owner of the work? What happens when two or more people create a work together? Can copyright be sold, inherited, or transferred? Stay with us as we answer these important questions in simple, practical language. Please don't go. Let me begin with a story many creative professionals can easily relate to. Today is a talented photographer. After years of building his portfolio, he was invited by a well-known company to cover its 25th anniversary celebration. He spent 2 long days photographing the event from the arrival of guests to the award presentation. Now, everyone commended his creativity and professionalism. A few weeks later, Tunde displayed some of the photographs on his professional website as part of his portfolio. Not long afterwards, another organization contacted him expressing interest in using some of the images in the promotional campaign. When the company became aware of this, its management objected. They insisted, "We paid for the photographs. They belong to us." Tunde disagreed. He replied, I took the photographs. I'm the creator. So the photograph belongs to me. The copyright is mine. The answer isn't always straightforward as people think. It depends on the circumstances, any agreement between the parties, and what the Copyright Act 2022 provides. Introducing today's topic now. Whether you are an author, a musician, a filmmaker, a photographer, a software developer, a journalist, a teacher, today's program is for you. Now, my guest is waiting on the line. Before I introduce my guest, let me quickly tell you, did you know that buying a painting, purchasing a photograph, or paying someone to create a work for you does not automatically mean you own the copyright? In many cases, you own the physical item or have agreed rights to use it, while the copyright remains with the creator unless the law or a written agreement provides otherwise. Joining me today in the studio, well, she's in Abuja, but she's also here in Ibadan. All right, like I said, my guest is not right here physically, but she's right here. And you'll be listening to all the questions you have. Just start jotting them down, suggestions, and your contributions on the program. Mrs. Ijoma Egbunike. She's the Director of Public Affairs Department of the Nigeria Copyright Commission in Abuja. You're welcome to the program, madam.
Thank you so very much, our own very oxygenated presenter.
Yeah.
It's so good to be joining you.
It's so wonderful having you on Oxygen FM live from Abuja this morning.
Thank you. Thank you. So and kudos to the Oxygen 96.9 FM.
We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Now, our time is really fast spent with our introduction, but we needed to do that introduction for the people to listen. Let's begin with a question many people ask. Who owns copyright?
Yeah, thank you very much. I will, go straight to answering that question. It's been a source of confusion to so many creatives and, copyright stakeholders. I'll take it from the Copyright Act 2022. Of course, that's a general rule under that act. Copyright initially belongs to the creator of the original work. And so in copyright law, the person is known as the author, that is the creative of that work. And so if you write a novel, is it a song you've composed? Is it a picture you've painted? An original photograph you've taken, you've produced a film, you've developed a computer program, you're generally referred to as the first owner of the copyright in that work. Unless, of course, the parties have agreed differently. So let me stop at that for now.
Okay. So does that mean the creator always owns the copyright?
Not always would be my answer.
Okay.
And that is because while the creator is deemed to be the first owner, there are important exceptions. So those exceptions, for example, ownership may differ where a work is created in the course of employment, or where two or more people jointly create a work, or where copyright has been transferred through a written assignment or license. I will explain.
Okay. That's
the question is, okay.
The question is, does it mean that the creator always owns the copyright? But you already answered. You said there are exceptions.
Yes, I said not always.
But not always, but there are exceptions. Like to every rule, there are exceptions. I'll say That's
Yes.
very interesting. So, understanding who owns copyright isn't always as simple as we say or as we think. There are situations where the law or a written agreement determines ownership. After this break,
Exactly.
we'll look at some of those situations, including work created by employees, jointly created, and how copyright can be transferred from one person to another. Please don't go away. Still Copyright Connect on Oxygen FM 96.9, sponsored by the Nigeria Copyright Commission. Yes, thank you. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, it's Copyright Connect, sponsored by the Nigeria Copyright Commission. And my guest, all the way from Abuja, is Ijeoma Egbunike, Director, Public Affairs Department, Nigeria Copyright Commission. Before the break, my guest mentioned that there are important exceptions to the general rule that the creator owns the copyright. Let's begin with works created in the course of an employment. If I'm employed by a company and I create something as part of my official duties, who then owns it?
Thank you very much, our darling presenter. It's an excellent question, and it's meant to resolve some of this confusion on who owns copyright. Now, the Copyright Act 2022 provides that where a person creates a work in the course of employment by the government, a ministry, department, or agencies, we call them the MDAs, or certain international organizations, the copyright generally belongs to that employer, unless there is an agreement stating otherwise. I was very emphatic when I said government agencies, ministries, departments, or certain international organizations. It does not mean that any random private company commissions a work and owns the right. So in the case of employment, or an employer who works, or rather an employee who works for an employer under the government, departments, MDAs, or agencies, the employer owns the work.
Let me bring it home. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. For instance, Debola is an artist, and he makes a picture in the course of his employment with Oxygen FM 96.9. And okay. A picture as a to use, Oxygen wants to use it for our signage. And when Debola leaves Oxygen FM, he doesn't have a right to that picture. Is that the implication?
Can you take it again?
For instance, this is just a scenario. I have a friend.
Yeah, I know.
Who his name is Debola. He's an artist. Okay. He draws.
Okay.
And he paints a picture of Oxygen FM 96.9, which Oxygen is using. But when he wants to leave the employment of Oxygen FM, he claims that the picture is his. Who owns it? Oxygen FM or Debola?
Okay, right. Debola created that work while under the employment of Oxygen.
Definitely.
FM. And the work was created for the use of Oxygen FM at that point, while he was an employee of Oxygen FM.
Yes.
So at that point, Oxygen FM owns the work.
The work. All right. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, I've given
I want to add something here.
All right.
In owning the work through employment or by commissioning, it doesn't give non-exclusive rights.
All right.
So it doesn't take away the fact that the creator of that work is Debola, or the creative who created a particular work. But just because it has been commissioned, or this person created it, yes,
under the employment of that organization,
under the employment of a particular government office or international organization, it gives that international organization, that office, that government office,
the right
ownership of their work, but not the copyright. Okay. Not the copyright.
Now, can we now distinguish between, please, the ownership and right. What's the difference?
The Act says that any original idea, I'm sure we talked about it the last time,
yes,
that has been expressed in a format. Is it a book? Is it music? Is it a painting? Original idea expressed in a particular format. The law gives right to the owner of that work and calls person an author. So he owns the copyright. So your question now is to differentiate between copyright and ownership.
Yes.
So like I said, an author, a creator who just creates on his own, is the copyright owner, and is the copyright the author and the copyright owner. But while working for some people or being commissioned, and then under certain agreements, I must say this at this point, because some people just go ahead and invite people to come and do certain things for them without clearly identifying terms of
conditions,
operation, conditions of such work. So when that happens, if, for instance, a photographer, let me use a photographer as an example, is hired to cover an event, and then there is no agreement as to the usage of the pictures afterwards, of course, the creator, who is a photographer, owns the work and can do anything he wants to do with the work. But if there is an agreement that, yes, we are paying you, we have commissioned you, so we lay claim or ownership to this work. Now remember that ownership does not translate to business. It doesn't translate to using it for commercial purposes, but majorly for private use.
Okay.
So I have commissioned you, you have given me this work, it is mine, I can use it for this or that.
Although I am the owner, I can't use it as I like.
Yes, it doesn't give me the right to use it as I like.
Now,
it doesn't give me exclusive right.
Okay, it's now
but then if none of that was said from get-go,
the beginning.
Yes, the photographer has the right. It is picture. He has the right to do anything he wants to do. Yeah. But at the point of commissioning, it could be said that, please, this picture, I know that you are the photographer, but we have commissioned you, so we wouldn't want you to use it or to publicize it or do some of those things that the right ordinarily or the law ordinarily gives you right to do.
Thank you so much for actually breaking it down for us. Let's quickly look at another scenario. Let's talk about another situation. What happens when two or more people create a work together?
Okay. The Act looks at it as joint ownership of the work. And that is where two people come together to either write a book, to create any work, is it to do a painting, to sing, because two of them contributed to that work. It gives them equal right. So they become co-creators, co-owners, joint authors to that work.
Okay. Can you share an example? Can you share an example we can relate with?
Yes, just like I said, there is a book, we want to write a book. Then there is a topic to that book. Then I bring content, you bring content. And together we write it. Together we go publish it. So it becomes our copyright, not my copyright, because two of us are owners of the content. And we have done everything to ensure that this book has been written and produced. So
it is jointly owned.
That comes out, yes, it's jointly owned.
So exactly. I can't wake up tomorrow and say, I want to do something personal with it. It has to be with the consent of the other party.
It has to be with the consent of the other party.
And exactly. It just dropped in my mind. right now that what if I'd like to do something with the book and my party does not agree, but it's something I really want to do. What happens?
So it brings me to agreement even before people start doing things together. So in the case of joint ownership, joint authorship, from get-go, from the beginning, things should be, cleared out. How do we do this? The royalties, how do we share it? Taking decisions, how does it go? So it does not mean that you wake up one day and take decisions without the other person being in the know or being in agreement. So from the beginning, the two people that are coming together to co-author would agree on certain things. And those things written down most times, yes, written down, are now legal, are not legally binding.
Yes. Yeah. So whatever happens henceforth, you must always go back to that legally binding document that you have signed from the beginning.
Exactly.
Because of our time, Mrs. Egbunike, quickly, what's the difference between assigning copyright and granting a license?
Thank you very much. If you assign your copyright, it means you're transferring your ownership of some or all of your copyright rights. Remember, those exclusive rights granted by law to the owner of work. Remember, we mentioned that.
Yes, we established it.
The right, yes. So now, if there is an assignment, and remember, it's documented, it's written down, it's not
verbal.
Just by mouth, it's not verbal. So it means assigning or transferring this my ownership to you, either all completely or a huge chunk of my rights to you or to another person, according to terms of agreement. Then for license, a license on the other hand allows someone else to use your work. Now, underline the usage of words. There is assignment and there is licensing. So a license, on the other hand, allows someone else to use an author's work while that author remains the copyright owner. For example, an author may license a publisher to publish a book, or a musician may license a radio station like yours to broadcast a song while still retaining ownership of the copyright. I don't know if it makes sense to you.
Quickly, I'll take some messages. In case you're just joining us, our time is fast spent. We're saying our bye-byes on the program shortly. My guest has been Ijeoma Egbunike, the Director of Public Affairs and Department, Nigeria Copyright Commission, all the way in Abuja. Like I said, it's a digital world. She's in Abuja and she's speaking right here in Ibadan. I'll quickly take some messages that we got on our YouTube page. Glad to be here. That's Josephine. Zikara said, welcome to Copyright Connect. Mojo's Musin says, yes, it's a global village. Mojo's Musin, thank you so much. Copyright Connect is rich and must watch. Mama 1998 said, NCC, thank you for this enlightenment. Thank you so much. Zara said, thank you so much, Ma, for taking your time to go into details. We really appreciate. And well done, Nigeria Copyright Commission, for this powerful program. Thank you all for joining us on YouTube. There is Muiwa Olayemi say, can a right be purchased with money outrightly from the owner? Please, can you quickly answer that? Muiwa Olayemi says, can a right be purchased with money outrightly from the owner?
Yeah, I'm here. That can a right be purchased outrightly?
With money from the owner.
With money. Before now, we were talking about licensing and we were talking about assignment. So in the area or in the matter of assignment, yes, of course, money may change hands, but these are legal agreements. So it depends on what is agreed upon. So money, may be involved, But in the matter of assignment, it means I'm handing it over, I'm assigning it, I'm transferring it, the whole of my right, or almost all of it, outrightly to somebody else.
We'd love to continue on this line of thought. Ijeoma Igbunike, please, we have to continue this line of thought because Muyiwa Olayemi says it needs more explanation. So Muyiwa, please hold on. By next week, God willing, Ijeoma Igbunike will be on Copyright Connect on Oxygen FM 96.9. She's the Director of Public Affairs Department, Nigeria Copyright Commission, all the way in Abuja, the headquarters in Abuja. Copyright Connect will come your way again next week on Oxygen FM 96.9. At this juncture, we say thank you for joining us. My name is Tolu Adepoju. Bye for now.
Okay, here we go.
Oxygen FM 96.9 Ibadan.
Spin around the block everywhere you go. See now the air, we not just a radio. 96.9, 96.9. Oh, Oxygen. 96.9, 96.9. Oh, Oxygen. 96.9, 96.9.